So guys, I am back with another Bad Buddy update. So today's episode was a hell of a ride. I really enjoyed today's episode. I really enjoyed the bickering of both the gangs. I really like the cat scene. This scene just shows that Pat is just a tough man from outside, but a soft boy from inside. I think we got our Nat in the series, just her name is changed to Ink. Like Nat made Pran feel jealous a lot in the novel, but the series has a version they have Ink. The only difference between them is Nat was hitting on Pat, but in the series, Pat has some sorts of affection towards her. This scene made me realize that the only reason Pat keep trying help Pran so he can prove himself that he is not a jinx, that he doesn't bring bad luck to Pran. People always told him that he brings bad luck to Pran, so he wanna prove himself that he can bring a smile to Pran's face. In the series version, Pat still doesn't realize that he likes Pran, but in the novel version Pat was already head over heels for Pran. But I am liking this slow establishment of their relationship. Did you see Pran's lamp was also sad because he was jealous, but Pat enlightened his mood by complimenting him of his dimples. But I think Pat reminds me of Taekyung of Light on Me, like he thought he loves Daron, but Daron was just being nice to him. Same here goes to Pat, that he got confused with Ink, that he likes Ink, but it's just an affection towards her, not like love. And can we talk about Nanan's acting, that it's a very rare quality in actors that they can speak through their eyes, like he doesn't need many facial expressions, his eyes speak for itself. And the fact he even cried after watching his own scenes just because he was able to feel Pran's pain again, like it's very good quality that the actors can feel what their character feels. And that hate you that Pran said, I think he means he hate him for giving him false hopes. He hate him that Pat can't be his. I think so far they are following that old trope, like when one guy is confused that he likes the other person or not, and only realized when he saw his man with another person due to jealousy. So that was my analysis, so let's begin the spoiler foremost. You guys are here for, so note it's Pran perspective. Pran. The scene starts with Pat is sleeping on Pran's lap, and Pran is slowly cursing at him how he is so drunk that he got robbed and even didn't know where he was. But then he looked at Pat's face, who was sleeping on his lap, and smiled. Then the whole Pran let Pat sleep on his lap even though it was making Pran uncomfortable, but he stayed all night. But then it was morning. Then Pran gently removed Pat's head from his lap and made him comfortable and trying his best so Pat don't wake up. Then he looked for ice porridge, put the porridge on the table for Pat. Then Pat left for his classes. Then he found out the classes cancelled and most of his friends are already left and playing golf. Only Y was with him. Y asked him, your eyes are black again, in which Pran replied, I did not sleep well in the night, so Y just said again. Then Y said, do you wanna eat something? Then Pran said, yeah, for sure, I am hungry as well. So both of them head towards the cafeteria and deciding what to eat. Then Pran just said, today is hot, let's eat ice cream. Then Y replied, here we go again. Your ice cream habit is really bad. Then Pran just ignored it and said, let me keep a seat and go bring ice cream. Then Y just took a sigh and went to the ice cream stall and bring Pran's favorite ice cream flavored mint chocolate. Then Pran quickly removed unwrapped the lid and started to eat his ice cream, and Y was just watching and said, you will get diabetes for sure. Then Y brings 2 bowls of noodles after Pran finished his ice cream. Y asked, do you want another cup? Then Pran said, I can eat all those ice cream. Then Pran started to eating the noodles. After finishing the noodles, then Y bring him another cup of it. Then Y asked, why do you like this? Then Pran said, I just like it. Then Pran said, go ahead, take a bite yourself. Y quickly denied it, but Pran forced him to take 1 scoop of it and forced into the Y's mouth. Then Y frowned and said, do not ask me to eat this again. But slowly Y facial expression changed and said, shit, it's delicious. Then both started to laugh. Then suddenly someone splashed a water bottle at the table and both were shocked, then looked at the direction where the bottle came from. Then the person who threw the bottle was Pat. Then both Y and Pran stand up. Then Pat came near to them, their table. Then Pran said, what do you want? Then Pat didn't said anything and just put a smirk on his face. Then Pat grabbed Y's collar and Y also pushed him hard through chest. Then Pran said, "Y, calm down." And Pran said, "This not the place to fight. This is a canteen, and teacher can easily see us." Then Pran quickly grabbed Pran's hand, then rushed to the library, and Y was really angry. Then both Y and Pran went to their class to write their exam. Then, after the exam, both were exhausted. Then Pran said, "I will go back to my room." Then Y said, "Yeah, let's go, because I am still not in a good mood after what happened in the canteen." Then both Pran and Y were heading out of the university. Then see some students running with bruised state and coming from the engineering faculty. Then both rushed towards the students and asked what's happening. Then that student replied that engineering students cornered them and attacked on them and still beating some students, so we are running to get some help. Then both Pran and Y rushed towards the direction. Then Pran saw Pat punching a juniors and was in totally looking like a madman, and both rushed towards the engineering gang. Already enraged, Y quickly rushed towards Pat, but Pat easily put Y down on the ground and started to punch Y, and Pran was trying to stop them, but Pat was in total state of rage. He did not even saw it was Pran and punched on his cheeks. Then Pat stopped and showed a worried face and looked Pran. Then Pran quickly stand up and grabbed Y. Then those juniors also helped Pran to carry Y. Then Pat in a worried state said, "Is Pran, are you okay?" Pran ignored his question and just picked Y and left. Both Pran and Y were in the dormitory, and Pran gave Y some medicine and gave him something to eat. Then Pran went to his own room. Pran was so shocked to see Pat in this state, and this is the first time both have this kind of real fight, because they always pretend to fight, but this time it was real. Then Pran heard a knock at his door, and he went to open the door and saw Pat over there. Pat hand went to touch Pran's wound on his cheek, but Pran quickly moved away. Then Pat said, "I am sorry." Then Pran said, "You want your doll, isn't it? Take this doll and leave." Then Pat said, "Can I come in?" Then Pran said no. Pat was dissatisfied and frowned. Then Pat pulled Pran by his arm. Then Pat said, "Are you angry because I hit your friend?" Then Pran, "It's your fault." Then Pat replied, "It's not my fault. Your juniors were the one who was making fun of my junior's boyfriend." Then Pran said, "So you beat the hell out of them?" Pat said, "It was them who started it, and I just punched them." Then Pran said, "Why don't you punch me like them until I get unconscious?" Pat was silent and shocked. Then Pran said, "Get out of my room." "Pat, are you firing me?" Then Pran said, "We are enemies, isn't? Enemies don't go to each other rooms like that." Then Pat just said, "Pran." Then Pran just shouted, "Get your stuff and leave." Then Pran looked away and the door gets closed. So this chapter's ends here, so this scene can happen according to the teaser and preview. This scene will be sure angsty.